episode 17 of the Circle Back podcast, a show where two great friends get together and just talk about video games. I'm Dan LaMarca. As always, I'm joined by Dan Dufrenoy.
Welcome back.
And Dan, we're going to kick it off like we always do, man. What have you been playing?
All right, well, I had a pretty slow week, and we'll get to the Metal Gear in a bit. The only game that I had played this week, I played with my sister, and this also ties into what we're going to talk about later. Mm-hmm. I was inspired by something that was shown on the Nintendo Direct. So me and my sister went back into our old Mario games, and we took up Mario Super Sluggers, and it's just Mario Baseball, and it's just a lot of fun.
It's a fun game.
It's actually a lot of fun, especially Daisy's Cruise Ship. Mm-hmm. It's probably our favorite level. We played that like 3 times. The best is when like blooper pops up and like he pulls the boat to the side and you just pull every ball and home run. A lot of fun. I loved that game so much when it first came out, or the original one for GameCube. Yeah. And I've used the same team.
Ever since?
Every time.
That's your squad.
I know exactly where they play. I know their batting order. Wow. I know everything. I made baseball cards for them back in the day. I mean, it was beautiful.
Baseball cards, huh?
I made my own in 2000 when the game came out. 2006.
I think so.
2006, 2007. I made like baseball cards. I had my entire squad.
That's awesome.
Monty Mole.
Would you make them on index cards?
Yeah, I just made them on index cards. I drew I made up statistics for them on the back. Like I played like 90 games. And like I kept down their.
So who's your squad? Monty Mole.
So Monty Mole is my second baseman. He leads off. I have Magic Koopa. He's my shortstop because he has that cool thing where if you hit the ball, he can use his wand and just like catch it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I have him. He bats second. Shy Guy's my center fielder. He bats third. Wario's my third baseman. He bats fourth. Then I got Hammerhead Brother. He's my first baseman. Bats fifth.
Hammer Bro.
What did I say? Hammerhead. Hammer Bro. My bad. And he's really good to have at first base because if there's like a line drive, like foul, he can throw his hammer and he can just like
bring it in.
Pianta is my catcher because he's got
Pianta's in the game. That's
awesome.
He
is. Yeah.
I played this game in many years.
He bats 6 and he's really good at catcher because if someone's stealing, he's got a
cannon.
Crazy arm.
Yeah.
Then who's 7th? Birdo's 7th. She's my right fielder. Toad is my left fielder. He bats 8th. And then I have Waluigi as my pitcher. And I know we all crap on Waluigi, but
I'm team Waluigi. I love Waluigi.
He's filthy. He's filthy.
He's a good pitcher.
He's got some nasty stuff, but
throw some ched.
Yeah, he throws some ched.
Dude, that's awesome.
It's a lot of fun. And like I said, what was so cool is we played the Mario Super Sluggers one because it's just easier to sell because we have the Wii U. And I was like, oh, I'll get the GameCube. But
what do you think? Is the GameCube one better, or are they about the same? Or
I'd say about the same. I like the stages in Super Sluggers more.
Yeah.
I think the stages are a lot more diverse. Like they have like Luigi's Mansion level and like really cool stuff like that. But it was just a lot of fun, and it was so crazy. I was having not played that game in like years, just getting back to it and just like remembering like, oh, this is my team. I got to put him here. I got to do this here. And just kind of like getting back to it. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That's great.
But like I said, we were inspired by something in the Direct, so I can't wait to talk about that.
We'll be talking about that Direct in a little bit. But first, we're going to keep going through what we've been playing. I finished Gunpoint.
All right.
I talked about last week. I really like this game a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love this story. It has some branching paths because you have to choose like. So, spoilers for Gunpoint. If anyone out there is playing it, it's from 2013, so I don't feel bad. Something happens. So. You're sent on a mission to go like erase this data from, this facility or whatever. And one of I talked about it last week, but you basically rewire circuits to get different things to open each other. So like you can rewire a security camera so that it opens up a door just by you walking in front of the camera, right? So you're kind of using cameras as you go to like, figure shit out and get through the level. And you come back from one of your missions. And the boss like calls you, the boss that owns that facility, he calls you and he's like, all right, we got everything we need. We have you on camera. And at first I was like, okay, that's like just like a funny thing. Like everyone uses the camera. But if you didn't use the camera to get through it, you wouldn't have been, like if you never walked into the camera site, then the story would have went a different way.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild.
Really, really interesting. I like that idea a lot. Also, there's a lot of different endings as far as like if you kill a person rather than just knock them out and stuff like that. Also, at the end, you're left with a choice like who do you help? this guy or this girl, and depending on what you do and where you go, it affects it. So it's pretty cool.
Can I ask a question? Maybe
Yeah.
Because probably nobody who watches this probably knows. We really talk much into it. Is she innocent? Do you prove her innocence?
So she's innocent at a certain point, but I don't know if it changes in different playthroughs, but she killed herself in prison because she couldn't take it. So I don't know if you could have saved her. You probably could have. The way this game plays out is pretty cool with the different endings. But yeah. And I just love the writing so much. Like, your dialogue choices.
Wait a second. But you're to blame for killing yourself because you're the one that erased the camera.
Yeah, oh yeah. But there's also a question to the fact of, did she kill herself, or was it set up that way by people that didn't want her to talk or come free or whatever? So, we'll see. Who knows? You can go through the different endings and different paths and stuff.
That's the worst.
Yeah, tough. But I love the writing and the way. So when you're talking to another person on like your phone interface, you choose dialogue options. And at the end of the game, you choose dialogue options that are like, this is like he literally says like, I'm going to put this on my blog. And he's writing like a letter, and you can make it like goofy as hell, or you can make it like a really like funny, like throwback to noir stuff. So it's like, I forget exactly what he said, but it was something to the effect of like, he's like, this case, it made me feel empty, like a gunshot on a street with nobody there. You know what I mean? Like good shit like that, where I'm like, that's hilarious, because that could actually be a line in a stupid noir film or book. You know, like I love it. That game is like almost unrivaled in its style. Like, it knows exactly what's good and what's bad. So I love that game. I'm super happy I played through it. But I've also been playing through 2 other games that kind of tie into each other, in theme at least. Basically 2, like, Cthulhu-esque existential horror games. I've been playing Bloodborne and Darkest Dungeon again. So these are some of my favorite games of the last few years. Like, these are the games that I come back to because I really, really enjoy them. I'll start with Bloodborne. Basically, the reason I started Bloodborne again is because I saw that it was free on PS Plus. So I have the game. It's not like it helped me out at all, but it just kind of brought it back into my my brain.
Let me taste that again. Yummy.
Let me jump back in there. Yeah. So I also figured there were probably a lot of players playing. You know, for a 4-year-old game that came out.
40-year-old game.
4-year-old came out. Yeah, 2014 or 2015. I can't remember. But either way, it was 2015. So almost 3 years to the day, because it came out in March. You don't really get a lot of players in there usually, but you know, there's some interesting online aspects. Just like any Souls game, you can leave notes. You can, you can invade other people's games and stuff like that. So I was like, let me jump back in and play a little bit. So. Any Souls game, when you get through it, by the time, if you ever want to replay it, you know everything. Yeah. Because you're like, you learn these levels so much as you're going through them. So jumping back in and being able to just run through that first area and beat that first boss right away was like pretty awesome. It's just been fun to get back into. I think anyone that hasn't played Bloodborne, if you have PlayStation Plus, it's a no-brainer. Even if you don't have PlayStation Plus, I would still get it. Yeah. It's an incredible game. It's definitely one of my favorites. And it holds up. Those games always hold up because they play a certain way that is kind of timeless.
Is Bloodborne I know how much you love Dark Souls. Yeah. You put Bloodborne like on par with Dark Souls?
I always say, when I think about the rankings of those games, it's Dark Souls here, Bloodborne right underneath, and then, Demons 3, 2, Bloodborne and Dark Souls are the 2 pinnacles, in my opinion.
Is Bloodborne actually like a Souls game?
Oh, it depends on the distinction of what you mean.
Well, like, was it Miyazaki? Was it like... Yes. Okay, gotcha.
Yes. Same lineage. A lot of the same ideas. They do some interesting different things. Mm-hmm. You have the gun in your left hand and the weapon in your right instead of... two-hander or sword and shield like in Dark Souls. But I really do think it's way up there as far as those games. But you know, we'll see if I keep with it. I just kind of wanted to dip back in and jump in.
Honestly, it was so funny that you
There
mentioned...
was nothing much that I was playing at the time, but yeah.
No, it's just so funny that you mentioned Bloodborne because the other day I was just chilling with my mom and I was just like looking up stuff on like Bloodborne. I was like, man, I really like I haven't played this game. I really just have to get into it. So you never know, maybe this week, maybe or next week or
the game is so
soon,
good,
at
man.
least.
That game is so good.
Awesome,
and it does that. You know, we can talk for hours about Dark Souls and those games and how like their level design is so impeccably done to make you like do certain things.
Right.
And Bloodborne, that first area, is like perfect example of why those games are great because like it teaches you how to play the game without any tutorials, just by like enemy placement, you know, switches to let ladders down right in the beginning. Like it kind of really guides you as to what you should be looking for, what you should be doing, and what you shouldn't be doing.
Gotcha.
You know? So like your first run through, you're like, all right, I killed these few guys, and then holy shit, there's like 5 guys here. How am I ever gonna kill them? And then as you start going, you realize like, all right, I gotta like peel aggro, like grab one guy instead of 5, bring him out, kill him, go in. You know, it's an impeccable game. I love Bloodborne. But another game I've been playing is Darkest Dungeon. Darkest Dungeon it's a complicated game to describe, and it's a game that I adore. I love this game, and I think we'll be talking about Darkest Dungeon soon. We'll see. We might be doing something with that. But Darkest Dungeon is basically a turn-based game where you have a party of 4 people, and they're all in a line, right? So it's one person here, one person here. It's 2D side view of a turn-based game. So you have a team of enemies here and your team here. And what you do is, depending on the character's speed, they go in turn at certain times. So huge part of this game is, so the whole object is, hey, this game's super hard, and you will have characters die on you, and you just have to accept that. But the whole point is, each week there's one mission, so you have a bunch of missions to choose from.
Okay.
And you know, at the beginning I'll start you with just one mission or 2 or whatever, and you go through and you know, start unlocking different missions. But the object is just get the end of the dungeon, whatever the mission is. Some missions are like complete 100% of the room battles, because you're also looking at a grid of rooms, almost like Metroidvania style, where it's like you'll see a big room and then a hallway and then a big room and like it's gridded out,
right? And
you're navigating room to room, and stuff will happen in between.
Okay.
But the shtick of the game is you have a health meter on each of your characters, like any other strategy game, but you also have a stress meter underneath, and the stress meter will fill up even sometimes if you don't take damage or something. Like some enemies do stress damage instead of regular damage. So, you know, this guy will just like, he'll be like stressful incantation. He'll like, you'll see a dude like do this and everyone gets scared. And your stress meter, when it fills all the way up, your character either gains a permanent negative trait or gets a virtue.
Okay.
And a virtue is, for the rest of that mission, your character has like super buff stats. So there's a bunch of different virtues you can get, but it's kind of like a risk-reward thing where sometimes you can really help out your team if your guy can hang in there even with the stress. But sometimes it'll be a real detriment. Like one of them will be like your character sometimes won't attack because they didn't get a virtue, they got the other thing. So for the rest of that mission, it's like, all right, well, hopefully I can attack with this guy because being down a man is terrible. But you might not,
yeah.
But if you get a virtue, he might have plus 10 HP and plus 5 to damage or something. Like something crazy huge. And you're just like, hell yeah, like this is saving my ass. So you really want to make it out with everyone alive, and you want to do the mission, and then you come back and spend your spoils on stuff. But what happens is your characters carry their stress level over from mission to mission.
Okay.
So back at your home base, there's a bunch of different buildings that do different things. But the main point of being back at base is you put people into different buildings to relieve their stress.
Okay.
So like one person might have and they all have different personality traits that you can either get rid of or keep or whatever. But one person might be like a compulsive gambler, so he can only relieve stress by gambling in the tavern, you know?
Okay.
Someone might be like a zealot, and they can only relieve stress by praying at the church.
Okay,
you know?
gotcha.
So it's like there's all these different kinds of. It's one of the most complicated games because there's so many different systems working at the same time. So me explaining it here is kind of silly, but to get just the gist of it, and the cool thing about the actual combat is it's super varied because there are a bunch of different types of heroes. And there are a bunch of different moves even within the hero. So I think there's 8 different abilities for each hero, but you can only have 4 at a time. So in one of these buildings, you can put a hero in there and unlock new abilities, and then like switch them around. You know, so you can kind of customize your heroes and how you want them to, like what kind of abilities you want them to have. I don't want to ramble on too much about it because again, it is kind of a hard game to wrap your head around. But keep an eye on our channel. We might be doing a little something with it.
I have 2 questions though, because I'm actually very curious.
Let's hear it.
Do other people's stress affect other people? Like if someone's like super stressed out, will that induce another person's stress?
So it depends. It depends on the if they get that negative penalty.
Okay.
Because just being stressed doesn't harm other people, but if they get that bad, sometimes stressed out is like one of those bad qualities you can get if your stress meter fills, and they'll just like say things like they'll scream out and be like, "We're all gonna die," and then everyone will get stressed out, and intermittently they'll just yell out something like, "Just kill me," and the whole team will be like, "Oh God, he's freaking out," So it definitely has that interaction.
And is that how you die if you're too stressed? It just kills you.
So you can die if your stress meter fills up twice. You can die.
Wow.
But also, if you get down to 0 health, there's a cool thing that they do actually, and I'm sorry to, talk too much about it, but there's a cool thing. If you lose all your health, something pops up and it says you're at death's door, which means if you take one more hit, you either die right there, or you resist it, and you're still at 0 HP, but you survive. Wow. So like you have a certain percentage of surviving even if you're at 0 HP. But what you really want to do is heal them up before they take a hit because they could die. You know? So
cool.
Yeah, very cool game, and like I said, I think we have a little something planned for you folks out there.
Yeah.
So we'll dig into that game a lot more.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to that.
But that is all that I've been playing, and so I want to move forward into my favorite time of the week.
Favorite time of the week?
Metal Gear Corner with Dan.
Metal Gear Corner with Dan.
So what you been doing, Dan? I heard you dipped in. You're playing some Metal Gear Solid 2.
I started Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty. Just give you the general run through.
Yeah, talk to me about the beginning of this game because it's pretty interesting.
It is actually really interesting. So I was kidding last time, and I was saying like, man, I can't wait, to play a Solid Snake because I knew the whole, being alive and living on Earth and stuff like that, I knew that
it was going to be
Metal Gear Solid 2 got a lot of crap because most of the game you play as this guy named Raiden and not Solid Snake, and everybody was up in arms. And but what was so interesting was I played about maybe 2 hours of it. Most of those 2 hours I played as Snake. So you start the game, you're on a ship, and actually it was so weird. The way that I don't know how this happened, but the way that Snake gets on the ship, it's very much like Terminator. Mm-hmm. Like he lands on the ship, and there's like lightning like coming from him, like very very weird.
It's super weird. I don't know what the hell.
And he's on the ship, and your buddy Otacon is on the codec, and he's just telling you, Snake, there's another Metal Gear, and Snake's mission now is to destroy all the Metal Gears. In the first game, he destroyed Metal Gear Rex, and now there's Metal Gear Ray, and Solid Snake's made it his mission to destroy all the Metal Gears in the world, as I picked up from just playing the previous game.
Right.
Hideo Kojima was very anti-war, anti-nukes, and there's so many nukes in this world.
Right.
Snake has to disarm them, kind of thing. So Snake's on the boat. And he's got to find Metal Gear Ray. That's the plan. So he's got Otacon as his helper. And actually what's really humorous is that there's no Mei Ling. So Otacon tries to take the place of Mei Ling. And like, he'll like start, like Mei Ling always in the first game would give you these like proverbs to kind of help you with your way. Like these very, very wise, age-old wisdom. And it would translate into things like, oh, you know, don't be too careless, you know, even though you're the best, you know, watch your surroundings, like old, like very, you know, wise things. So Otacon takes it upon himself to, throughout your mission, just to get Metal Gear Ray, you know, giving you like little things. He'll say like, you know, I can't even remember some of the proverbs, but he'll say something. He'll be like, oh, you know, the one that's, you know, wise isn't always the smartest guy in the room. Well, Snake, I think that means that you should watch out for the fish. Like, you know, and then Snake will be like,
really funny.
And then Snake will be like, I don't think that's what that means, but okay. So it's really, really funny. It's still got that humor.
Yeah.
So you're going through the ship, and I got to say, you know, you're the one that said, you know, make sure you play the Metal Gears in order, because you can kind of see how they progress. Already leaps and bounds, a lot easier to play than the first one. Graphically, a lot better as well, and that's just due to time,
right.
You know, time going on. But so you go around the ship, and you're going around. You kind of learn what's happening. There's like a Russian terrorist team that has Metal Gear Ray, but our buddy Revolver Ocelot shows up, and he's working with the Russians, but yet he's also working for himself. But you're also on a board with U.S. Marines. So the Marines are using Metal Gear Ray. The Russian terrorist organization wants to take Metal Gear Ray, fronted by Revolver Ocelot, but Ocelot really wants it for himself.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Okay. So you're going along, and you're trying to stop Metal Gear Ray. You run into this girl named Olga, and you have to fight her. That's the first boss battle. And again, you're playing a Solid Snake, and you see her name's Olga, and you have a fight with her. She's the daughter of the commander of the Russian terrorist group, I believe. And you fight her, you shoot her, you think she's dead. She's not dead, but you think she's dead. You go around, and then this is where it gets really, really interesting. So Otacon says, okay, you know, just go past here, and, you know, there's Metal Gear Ray. What I need you to do is I need you to take snapshots of it. I especially need you to get snapshots of the Marine sticker on Metal Gear Ray, and then we're going to put this in the papers. We're going to put this, you know, we're going to incriminate everyone. You know, we got to stop these nukes from being made and being used. We got to disarm them. So Snake says, okay, great. So you're in this area, and there's about, like, I don't know, probably like 100 Marines, and they're watching this screen of the general giving this speech why, you know, the only way to stop these nukes is with more nukes, kind of very, you know, pro-military sentiment, just saying, you know, nukes, 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 nukes. So you have to sneak past all of these guys, and sneak past another group of guys, then sneak past another group of guys, to get pictures of Metal Gear Ray. So what was so funny was the first time, as I'm walking behind like a group of soldiers, there's a projector showing, and I didn't realize this. I just walk like right past, and like the projector, like on the projector screen, you see Snake's shadow, and then everybody turns around like the bing. Yep. It's like, oh no, and you have to start again.
That's pretty cool though.
It was cool. Yeah, like 100 guys turn in unison, you know, bing, and then you die. And then you hear Otacon, Snake! So you sneak past the guys, you sneak through the other room, you take the pictures, take the picture from the left side, take the picture from the front, take the picture from the right side, and get the Marine sticker. And you go to the little computer terminal, and you plug in your information that you got. And Otacon's very happy, you're very happy. It's very much Pokemon Snap. You know, he looks at your pictures and he goes, wow, great shot.
So good, right? I love that.
And anyway, so you do that, and then this is where it gets really, really interesting. You're putting in the pictures, and then our buddy Revolver Ocelot shows up, right? And he comes in with his gun out, and he's about to shoot the commander of the United States Marines. And he's like, Metal Gear Ray is mine. Get out of here. You think you're a strong man. And then the general has all his guys like try to shoot Revolver Ocelot, and Ocelot's just a freaking beast. And he just like flips his gun, shoots all the guys, and he's just standing there. He's like, don't mess. And then the leader of the Russian intelligence comes by, and he's like, Ocelot, what are you doing? Like, I thought you were like part of our team. And he's like, nope, like Metal Gear Ray's mine. Like I totally double crossed you. And he ends up shooting the general and the leader of the Russian terrorist organization at the same time. So we're like, okay, what's going on? So, wow, okay, this is cool seeing Revolver Ocelot again, but like, what's his deal? So he turned his back on the Russians, he turned his back on the Americans. Like, what's his deal? What's his motive? He mentioned something about the Sons of Liberty, so like it's probably like his own organization kind of thing. So Solid Snake is like, what's going on at this point? The whole area is being blown up. It's being decimated. There's like water, pouring in. So Snake's like, got to get to Ocelot. Got to figure out, what this is all about. What he wants with Metal Gear Ray. He runs up the stairs, and this is where it gets weird. Revolver Ocelot takes off his glove, and guess what his glove does? Guess what his hand does? His hand goes, long time no see, brother.
Here we go, Metal Gear 2.
And his arm takes over Revolver Ocelot, and Revolver Ocelot goes like, stop taking over me. And freaking Liquid Snake, who died in the first game,
his arm was attached.
His
to
arm
Revolver.
got attached to Revolver Ocelot, because in the first game, Snake blew up Revolver Ocelot's arm, so I guess he took Liquid Snake's arm
and
attached it. But his arm was freaking
now
like talking. Yeah, now he's got Liquid Snake's consciousness in his head, and he just goes on this whole thing, you can't stop me, brother. Like, we're gonna take over the world, which was really, really weird. My sister walked down at that time, and she's like, "Is his arm talking? What's happening?" So Liquid Snake is still alive, kind of, but he's alive in Revolver Ocelot's arm. Weird. Anyway, so as this is happening, Revolver Ocelot / Liquid Snake go into this ship. Snake's going after him, and he jumps. At this time, the bunker that the ship that he was on is sinking, and there's like an explosion. There's shots, and Solid Snake is dead.
Done.
Yep. Solid Snake is dead. All right. So then you start the mission the way the first game started. If you're underwater and you're in this submarine suit, and you get up and you're talking to the colonel, and the colonel says, "Hey Snake, what's going on?" And you're like, "Well, the Snake's dead. What's going on?" You find out that you're this guy named Raiden, and you're only called Snake just as because Snake's the best, but Snake died a few years ago or whatever. You're on your first mission. You're Raiden. You're this new guy. First mission, they make it very, very clear that all you've ever done is VR missions. That's all you've ever done. It's like everything you ever do, he goes, "Yeah, I did this in VR training." "Oh, I know you did this in VR training." "Yeah, I did this." So they make it very, very apparent that you are a newbie. Yeah. You have no experience. This is your first big mission. So you're Raiden, and I didn't get much more farther than this, but you meet this girl named Rose, who's apparently your love interest because your real name's Jack, and it's like Jack and Rose, and I was just like, oh my god, that's Titanic. What the hell? But so he has to be called Raiden. You meet this girl named Rose, and she's kind of like your mailing. You call her when you need to save. Something about, you need to get home the next day because it's a very important day kind of thing. There's a love interest going on. But this is where I left off, and this is where it was really interesting. So you find out that you're infiltrating this area. I forget what it was called, but the president is being held hostage.
Are you talking about the oil rig itself?
Yeah, the oil rig itself. You're infiltrating the oil rig, and the president is held hostage. There's hostages in there as well, and the terrorists, the Sons of Liberty, are taking over, and they're controlling all of this. Now, the Sons of Liberty, their leader, his name is Solid Snake, and the colonel's like, that's impossible because Solid Snake died. Right. So maybe Solid Snake is just a code name, But what's really, really weird is as Raiden's walking into an area, you see, no kidding, you see the back of Solid Snake. Like you see the long hair, you see the bandana, you see like the camo suit, and Raiden's like, there's someone else in here with me. Like, you know, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's like Snake's alive. But wait a second, Solid Snake is the head of the terrorist organization. What's going on? I don't know. I gotta play more. That's where
you left off.
That's where we left off.
Left off on Big Shell, waiting.
That's what it's called, Big Shell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thought you saw Snake, and that's where you left.
That's where I left off.
All
But
right.
apparently Solid Snake is the head of this terrorist organization known as the Sons of Liberty. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
We shall find out.
All I know is that everybody hates on Raiden.
I mean, right away, you don't like his voice, do you?
You know, I did this during BR missions.
He's so over the top. Now, I'm excited to see you get a little deeper into it because Metal Gear Solid 2 is, if not the weirdest, it's tied for the weirdest one with 4. So,
Really?
Yeah, pretty some strange things.
Like I
are
said,
gonna
with
happen.
the fact that Rover Ross's arm was talking, that was probably like, to
Yeah,
me, I was just
yeah.
like, oh man,
Oh, yeah.
where am I? What am I playing?
Yeah.
So, but I'm actually, I guess I'm really enjoying it. I love the first one. I definitely,
This one's a lot better to play, right?
a lot better to play. I'm gonna be very sad when I'm done playing Phantom Pain because like I like how like it's like being a part of this like
Oh, yeah.
cool like world.
That's what
it's
you
just
gotta
like-
love about these
yeah.
games is that the way the universe goes together and that
It's just
is
so
awesome.
silly.
Yeah, it's so
But in a good way.
ridiculous.
In a good way. In a good way. We love you, Kojima. All right.
All
So
right.
yeah, that's it. with me.
Awesome. So I want to move forward into our main topic of the day
Yes.
today, which is the Nintendo Direct.
There you go,
that
keeping
just
it topical.
happened, the other day. That happened Thursday, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
What day was that? March.
Actually, it was Friday, I think.
I thought it
Wasn't it
on-
Friday?
I think it was
Because I
Thursday.
went to the Curry Club that day, and I remember being very excited.
Well, either way, I think it was March 8th, and we're basically just going to run through the announcements, talk about them a little bit, what we're excited for, stuff like that.
Mhm.
All right. So, first big ticket item on our list here is Super Smash.
Super Smash for the Switch.
So, a lot of confusion surrounding Super Smash that they announced. People have been talking about a Smash for Switch for a long time. People have been saying it's in the works, yada yada. You hear rumors. There was some back and forth information of, is the Super Smash for the Switch going to be a new game entirely? Like, from Brawl to Wii U?
Right.
Or is it going to be a remaster of Brawl, or of the Wii U version with some added characters?
Yeah.
Because they did release Mario Kart 8 for
The
Switch,
Switch.
as a kind of, hey, here's the same game, a little bit upgraded, all the DLCs included, here's a couple new things. Like, they did do that. So everyone was like, all right, we're probably going to get that with the Super Smash. But the way it was announced was the Splatoon kids, like, the Squidlings, like, running around, shooting their guns, and then you see that, hey, they're in Smash. So they never said whether it was, all they said was Super Smash Bros. For Switch coming 2018.
Yeah, they never said if it was going to
So
be...
we still, to this day, do not know
It's gonna be
if
a
this
new
is a brand new Super Smash Brothers or if it's the same game from Wii U, redone, added new characters.
Yeah.
Because the problem is, they added like 10... How many characters they added to the Wii U one? Like, so many different characters. They added Cloud.
You
they
got
added
Cloud, you got Bayonetta.
Bayonetta. Yeah, they added so many different characters. So are they not going to then have all these characters?
I don't know.
It's interesting. I'm not sure what they're going to do with it. I would love it if it was a brand new game with new characters.
That'd
and
be
stuff.
sweet.
That'd be
When
really
did the
cool.
last one come out? How many years ago?
Let's look it up. I believe it was 2014.
Actually, like 4 years ago? That's insane.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. But yeah, they didn't say if it was going to be like a new... Cause the way that I took it was that...
Yeah, September 2014.
Really?
So, but in the past, it's been a lot longer between Smash.
Well, yeah, and, Brawl was what, 2008? Like,
Yeah,
I think.
2007, I think, maybe
2007?
even. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was, and then before that, GameCube was,
If it was a new Smash, I feel like If it was a new Smash, I feel like they would have been more specific with that. I feel like if it was a new Smash, they would have been like, new Smash.
But the thing that's interesting to me is, don't you think they would have
Specified.
But I'm not saying that. I'm saying if it was a remaster or like a port, they have a lot of footage to show. They have all those the other game that they're porting. So like when they announced Mario Kart 8 for Switch, they're showing Mario Kart 8 footage because they have it. They didn't show shit, So that makes them not showing it and them having the silhouettes makes me think it's a new Smash.
Wow, that'd be amazing.
I don't know though. I have no idea.
Because I heard
you saw. I don't know if you looked in detail with it, but the outline of the character, you see Link in his
Breath of the Wild
outfit. They show Mario. Hard to tell. He looks the same in all of his games. But and then the Squid Kids.
Like if that's it, if it's just like DLC added in, I don't know. I think that's the problem. I think we just don't know. I just don't think there's enough information.
Yeah. We'll see. I think it's cool to have the Inklings in the game because I think they're cool characters. That's like my favorite part about Splatoon is that it's a really cool world. I don't really enjoy the game personally, but that brings us into the next big ticket item. They have a whole new big expansion coming to Splatoon 2. I'm not the biggest Splatoon guy personally, but the expansion looked pretty sizable based on what they were talking about and what they were showing. I don't know if you're a huge Splatoon fan.
No, I never even played Splatoon. It just doesn't.
I like them.
Doesn't butter my roll.
Yeah. I'm a fan, but I don't. I played very little of them because I just can't really get into them. But I really do like all the style and stuff in those games. They're really cool. Something I'm super excited for, and I know you are as well.
Yes.
Mario Tennis Aces.
Oh man, I'm so excited.
So,
and that's why we played Super Sluggers, because we were like, oh
you're
man,
excited
like,
for Aces?
love those Mario sports games.
Yeah, they're awesome.
They're so good.
But the thing about Mario Tennis in general, I love the GameCube one.
Oh, so good.
Love it.
We played it. Oh, I'm sorry. Just
those
like,
games.
Nailed you.
That game is incredible. I love it. It's awesome. But then
this looks so good.
The Wii U one, the one came out for Wii U. That was absolutely terrible.
Oh, I don't even remember. Most of it came out for the Wii U.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was called. It might have just been called Mario Tennis, or probably Mario Tennis Wii U because that's what they did for all their games. But
I remember that.
Aces looks incredible.
It looks so good. The stages,
the
characters.
Stages look cool. And they went into so much detail about the systems in this direct. It was weird. They were like diving into it.
So cool.
And they showed this new system where you can like smash the ball a bunch of times and the racket has like a health bar. And if you break the other person's racket, you just win.
That's insane.
It seems crazy, but it looks like a lot of fun. I really, really like you said, I love those Mario sports games, so I'm excited for it regardless, but I think this one looks a lot better than the last one.
Oh my gosh. I didn't play the last one. Was it
terrible?
Terrible?
Absolutely terrible.
I'm very excited. I was probably the most excited for the Mario Tennis Aces.
So they announced that's coming out June 22nd.
I'm so excited.
So we're excited for that.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
And then they announced also alongside it, they said there's going to be a pre-launch online tournament. So they'll talk more about that. It seems like there's a running theme with that. We'll get into it later, but they said the same thing with ARMS. Like they're going to do an online tournament.
Okay.
Just, they like getting people prepped
right.
and see how many people they think are going to be interested in these games. I understand it. It's pretty cool, though. Next game they announced, Kirby Star Allies is actually coming out this week.
Wait, is that the new Kirby game?
Yeah. But, I mean, Kirby games kind of come out more often than you think.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, it looks interesting. I heard kind of middling things.
Well, I heard you could play as like a lot of characters from like previous Kirby games.
Yes.
Like it's very got that nostalgia kind of.
Yeah, they added a lot of new characters, and they talked about it during this direct. They showed a couple different characters you can play as. Looks cool. Looks like you're running the mill Kirby game. But
nothing beats Superstar.
Yeah, I mean they're calling this Kirby Star Allies. So, but yeah, that game comes out March 16th. I'll probably be passing on it unless I hear something that's incredible with it. But should be good for the Kirby fans out there. Next game, Octopath Traveler. So, number one, I can't believe they kept this name because it's the most ridiculous name I've ever heard. originally when they announced it, they were saying Project Octopath Traveler. And I'm like, that's got to be a working title, right? And they're like, no, it's really called Octopath Traveler. So for whatever godforsaken reason, they're leaving that name. But this is the new Square Enix RPG. That's kind of like an homage to Final Fantasy 6, 4, Chrono Trigger. Like, it's harkening back to the days of the great
art style,
sprite-based, turn-based RPGs. So they basically they showed off their job system that's going to be in this, which is pretty cool. Everyone likes a good job system. But that game comes out July 13th, and I am actually super excited for it. The way the art style looks and the music.
It looks absolutely great.
There's a lot that I'm really looking forward to in this game. I hope it comes together. But this is the team that made Bravely Default.
Okay.
Which is very good.
I didn't play that, but okay.
Yeah, it's very good. So, Square Enix puts out a lot of JRPGs that are middle of the road. They actually, what's the name of that? They have a studio called Tokyo RPG Factory.
Okay.
And they literally, they put out I Am Setsuna.
Oh, okay. How was that?
Not great. They put out literally like
an RPG every month?
Middle of the road. No, it's like one a year. But they put out like middle of the road. Hey, if you like those old RPGs, here's another one. And this is not from that team. This is from the team that actually, So I'm more excited for this.
Cool. Even just looking at pictures reminds me of like in Final Fantasy VI when you're in Narshi, however you say it, and like it's got the towns and it's very bricky and
it's got a lot of good stuff going for it. I'm actually quite excited for that one. Next on the docket, we have Captain Toad Treasure Tracker.
Is this a new Captain Toad, or is it just
it is not the new Captain Toad. It is the Wii U Captain Toad, but it looks like they added at least a couple of new areas because we saw him walking through New Donk City in this trailer.
That's
so
dope.
I fucking love Captain Toad. That game is incredible. It is super underrated for some reason, but I love Captain Toad. I think it's a lot of fun, and it has a really good personality. I love it. But that game also comes out July 13th. Seems basically like the Wii U version with a little bit added in, which I'll take. I'm happy. So Captain Toad, July 13th. Then we have Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy announced for the Switch.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
I mean,
first time Crash is on a Nintendo system.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm happy they're doing that because I think that the team behind that will see some good success on the Switch.
Seriously, that was probably one of the best remasters.
Yeah, that game.
Well done.
That game is excellent.
Well done.
I really enjoyed it. You see those games warts and all, but the way that the upgrades they did graphically.
Who did? Was that Blue Point?
No, that was Vicarious Visions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, really well done.
They did a really nice job.
I agree.
That comes out July 10th. Then we have Okami HD, which Switch, welcome to the club. Every system is required to have an Okami HD on it, so they're just the newest in the line. Okami's a great game. I don't think I'll ever play it again. I played it when it came out. I played it on GameCube, and then I played it years later on, I think, PS3 or something.
And they just released it for PS4 too.
Yeah.
They just did that.
But that's, this game's been everywhere. So if you have a system already other than the Switch, you probably already played this if you're interested. But it's a good game. I'm glad more people get to play it. Then we have South Park Fractured But Whole on here. I've heard mixed things.
Did you
on
play
that,
Fractured But Whole?
No, I really enjoyed the Stick of Truth, but I kind of am realizing that I don't really think South Park is that funny anymore. But Stick of Truth was kind of on the verge because it had some funny moments that weren't purely referential. Where it was like, okay, I see you doing some funny stuff. And it was the greatest hits. It's like all the old guys you remember, whatever.
Right, yeah.
But it's like, can you get away with that again?
Yeah.
So I think some people were a little tired when this one came out.
That's what I heard. I heard it was just
I've also heard, some people are really enjoying it. So if you're a big South Park fan, pick this one up. If you haven't already, it's coming out on Switch April 24th. So right around the corner. interesting game.
Yeah, I watched
saw.
it before when you told me.
It's called Sushi Striker: The Way of Sushido, which I think is an awesome name. I wish that it's called the Sushido Blade, but I really like it, and it looks fucking cool. It looks like a competitive like match 3, where like you're matching up different plates and then you're like shooting them across to the other. It looks cool. We didn't see a ton of it, but it comes out June 8th, and I'm really interested to see what people think.
Check out. Yeah, it looks interesting. It's original, I think,
yeah.
at least.
I'm intrigued in that for sure. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled June 8th. Next, something very near and dear to my heart, Dark Souls Remastered.
There you go.
They're basically saying, hey, it comes out May 25th, don't forget. Here's Dark Souls, you know. But they also showed a amiibo Solaire doing the Praise the Sun, and it is just fucking beautiful. So
gotta get that.
I need to be that'll be on this shelf over here soon enough. But they also said they're doing like a demo download for people that have never played Dark Souls. So
cool.
Pretty cool. I am excited to get into. I'm gonna play the remastered. I probably won't play it on Switch. I'll play it on PS4 or here on my PC. But very excited for Dark Souls Remastered.
When they talk about the remaster, they gonna like fix everything and.
So they haven't really talked much about it.
Okay.
But I would assume so. It's gonna be a graphical upgrade, obviously.
Right.
I would assume they're fixing all the frame rate issues that came with the original. You know, in Blighttown and in where the lava is with the ceaseless discharge, like there were some frame rate issues. Seriously, bad issues in that game. It is one of my favorite games of all time, so I'm not shitting on it. I'm just saying if they can fix that and make this the best version to play, I'll be
best game
thrilled.
ever.
I mean, maybe. So that comes out May 25th, remastered on. I believe it's PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Switch.
That's exciting, especially for anybody that has never played it.
Very excited for that. Next, we have the new No More Heroes game, Travis Strikes Again. Interesting little demo they showed here. Kind of looked a little bland in the gameplay front, but I guess that's not why you're playing No More Heroes anyway.
Right, yeah.
What they did show was a lineup of what looked like bosses that all looked like really cool, stylish characters. So I'm excited for this because I just like things that Suda does because he's weird and he makes cool games. I want to play that, but we don't know yet when it's coming out. They just kind of showed off a little bit of it. They do say this year. We'll see when, though. Then we have Little Nightmares, the complete edition. Little Nightmares we talked about a little bit last year. I like that game. It's super Limbo and Inside-esque, like very derivative.
Is it worth playing though?
It's a good one. Yeah, I would recommend it. Really weird thing they showed in this direct is the main character wearing a Pac-Man mask as like a DLC or something. Yeah, weird. Did not see. Oh look, if you tap the Pac-Man amiibo, you get the Pacu mask.
Ooh,
and you can literally look like Pac-Man. It's freaky. But yeah, I mean that game is really cool, and I would recommend it to people that enjoyed Limbo and Inside. It's not like the most original game, but it's fun, and it's some of the monster design. It almost has like a claymation look.
Yeah, okay.
It's interesting. That game they're doing May 18th on Switch.
Cool.
Then we have Undertale, which we have talked about before.
Oh, yes.
Me and Dan both.
Yeah, finally it's coming to consoles. Yeah.
Well, it's been on PS4.
Yeah, it has, which is awesome as well.
It's been on PS4 since like July of last year or something.
Wow.
But yeah, it's coming to Nintendo Switch. They literally said whenever we're ready. Like they have no idea when it's coming. They're like, we're making it though, so that's cool. So that's great. I adore that game. I love it to get into more people's hands. So we have some Hyrule Warriors. They're making the definitive edition for those Hyrule Warriors fans.
I guess Hyrule was a pretty good game.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not crazy about the Dynasty Warrior games or but me and my sister had a good time with Hyrule Warriors. It's just cool to play as all the characters.
I mean, the thing about it, it's like it's not a bad game. It's just super boring to me because
Yeah, no, I'm with
there's
you.
not
I
there's not
understand.
that much to it.
No,
But
it's just cool to play as,
yeah, and it's
play as,
interesting.
Yeah,
It's interesting to play
Princess
as those
Rudo
characters.
and all that stuff at the same time as Impa. It's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Then we have arms information. They're doing a new test punch, which is like a little demo they send out, let everybody try out certain new modes and stuff like that. They're also doing an open online tournament. Pretty cool. Not a huge arms fan, so I will not be participating. So that's all the Switch news.
Mm-hmm.
Then we move into 3DS news. And some of the stuff on 3DS is actually pretty cool. I'm a little upset that this game I'm about to talk about is not on the Switch. But they announced a game called WarioWare Gold, which I fucking love. WarioWare. WarioWare is incredible. But what this game is it has over 300 microgames from all different versions of WarioWare, all in this one package.
That should be on the Switch.
So they have like the touch stuff, they have like the tilt, like they have everything.
Pick the nose hairs out, like.
Yeah. But I'm saying like, they basically took the best WarioWare minigame microgames and just threw them together, and it's not on Switch. It's unbelievable.
It's on Switch.
It's on 3DS.
games are a lot of fun. I enjoy this.
Yeah, I love those games. I remember when it first came out.
When it first came out, was that the Wii?
No, they had a DS.
That's when it first came out?
Yeah. DS was the first one, I believe. And then the Wii was really cool because they would play around with the Wii remote.
Mm-hmm.
So like it would be like you would set it down and it'd be like a ringing telephone you have to answer.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like WarioWare is just such a fun game.
I agree.
But that was more of like a party game.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really fun with friends and stuff, but the original games were like, you're on your DS and you're like doing different things and like doing stuff. I love those games. This one comes out on 3DS August 3rd. Highly recommended. I enjoy WarioWare a lot. Then they announced the original Luigi's Mansion,
the 3DS,
is being basically ported to 3DS, which is cool.
They just did one though, didn't they, for 3DS?
Well, they didn't just do it. That came out in like 2013 or something.
Wow, all these years are just blended into one.
Yeah, but
Red Dead Redemption just came out yesterday, right?
Yeah, definitely. But Luigi's Mansion I really like on GameCube. It's a great game.
Mm-hmm.
But again, why not on Switch?
Yeah.
Weird. But I guess they're trying to keep the 3DS in people's hands, keep people playing.
Well, that's true, right? Yeah, if you want this, you got to get the 3DS.
Not only that, their user base is way higher for 3DS. They have like 70 million 3DSs sold. So, I mean, this is for people. I understand it's not for nobody, but, it would be a little more enticing if it was on Switch. Then they're making a game that's basically a remake of Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story, which is one of the great DS games. Really awesome.
That's
RPG.
the one where you go like inside, like you're like in his liver and like.
Yeah. That game is really fucking cool. It's really good, and it has that Paper Mario DNA where, you're doing turn-based, pretty simplified stuff. But I like the Mario and Luigi games a lot. They are hit or miss, and Bowser's Inside Story is the best one in my opinion.
Really, better than Superstar Saga?
Well, I'm talking about Mario and Luigi games. Oh, Superstar Saga? Yes.
I love that one. That's
I was thinking of Legend of the Seven Stars, which is Mario
RPG.
RPG.
Okay, yeah. No, I love Mario Superstar Saga.
Superstar Saga is good.
With Cacletta.
Dude, Bowser Inside Story.
Yeah?
Yeah. Really, really good. So yeah, they're basically doing that in one package with a little, some new stuff. Then they announced, I mean, we can talk about Detective Pikachu.
You watched it. That was so weird watching that and like hearing Pikachu talk like a grown man.
It's very weird. The whole thing is weird. I don't understand.
Hey, I'm a Pikachu.
Detective Pikachu is such a weird idea. But
you can get an amiibo though of Detective Pikachu,
which is pretty neat.
Which I would totally want to get
Yeah.
because that's like cool, but like.
But I don't know about the game.
If he talked, just like, honey, how you doing?
Yeah, so it's basically like an adventure game with Pikachu wearing a little cap and talking like a human being, which is just so disturbing. But yeah, it's coming out on March 23rd, which is right around the corner.
Cool.
And that's pretty much. I mean, I see something else here.
Dylan's Dead Heat Breakers.
So I'm just going to read the description because I didn't even remember seeing this. Action meets tower defense.
Oh, yeah.
Players take on the role of Armadillo Ranger Dylan, who teams up with an animalized version of the player's Mii character to help stop enemy invasions and save the post-apocalyptic frontier.
Yeah, he's got like a cowboy hat.
I don't remember it.
Yeah.
But anyway, who the hell knows if that game's going to be any good. But it seems like they're going to have a demo May 10th, and the full game is out May 24th. So.
I mean, it was good, but wasn't... Overall, the one thing I'm really, really excited for is Aces. That's probably the most.
Aces is great. I'm excited for Super Smash also.
Yeah.
Just to get it on Switch, no matter what it is. I wish they were more clear about it. I wish they would just say, "Hey,
what's happening?
This is a new
What's
game."
It about?
Like, just tell us.
Yeah.
Dark
Souls is great.
Dark Souls is going to be amazing. For the Splatoon fans, that's exciting. Octopath, I'm excited for. So we got some good stuff coming to the Switch. A little underwhelming. I would have loved to have seen Metroid Prime 4, like you said before.
That's what I wanted to see. That, and there's a new Yoshi game they were planning on making.
Yeah.
So I'd like to have seen a little bit, but like you said, they'll probably wait for E3.
Yeah, they're saving stuff for E3. But this was a nice little tease, and they got some stuff coming. So.
Yeah. So far, 2018's been. That's been right.
I don't know. I've definitely played some great games that have come out this year.
Yeah.
Not to mention Burnout Paradise.
Oh yeah, when's that come out?
Comes out tomorrow, March 16th.
You gonna get it?
I'm absolutely gonna get it. So look for my impressions on that next week. I wanted to real briefly talk about, because I kind of mentioned Paradise and why I loved it, but I didn't talk in a lot of detail about it. I want to just talk for like a few minutes about it. I want to say, because people might think like, all right, it's a racing game.
It's a racing game.
What's great about it? And it's like, I want to get the point across that this game, so first of all, you got to understand when it came out, the things that it did. So it had online integration where like you were there was leaderboards for everything with your friends. So it's like, hey, your friend smashed 51 billboards, you're only at 40, like you got to get on that. Like it basically it puts this like level of competition into it that's really fun. But it also had this thing where, and this was one of the coolest freaking things. If you had a camera on your Xbox 360, like the Kinect,
yeah.
If you had it connected, when you're playing a race against other people, or if you just see someone in the world or something, and they take you down, it'll show the other person a camera view of your face when you get taken down. So like you'll take someone down and then you'll see them being like, oh, and it's hilarious. It was one of the coolest things.
Wow.
Like they had so many smart ideas that like, again, if you didn't have a camera connected, you're not going to see anything. But they had so many cool little things like that.
That's awesome.
That just make that game like, and its style, because that game is like all about just like happy-go-lucky, like you're flying through it really, like the best way I could describe it is like it's a kid playing with Hot Wheels, but a video game. You know what I mean? You're launching off ramps, you're flying in the air, like you're doing crazy stunts and stuff, you're doing barrel rolls and landing. It's like, the game is just pure like fun, and the stuff they made around that game is just like impeccable.
Oh,
like
man.
They did a thing where like you have a license and you can upload a picture of your face to your license. So whenever you like come across somebody, you'll see their license and you'll just see someone's face. It's like really funny. That game was awesome, and that's why I've been super excited for this.
PS4?
Season. Comes out PS4.
What are they charging?
$40.
Okay.
Yeah, not bad. I would have liked it to have been like maybe 30 or something like that, but they are including all the DLC that came out, so you're getting a lot.
When
of
did
stuff.
it come out? When did when?
2008, I believe.
Oh, wow, so it's been a while.
2008.
But this is the one. This is the Burnout that takes the cake.
Oh, easily. I love Burnout 3 Takedown, but Paradise, man.
That's the way to go?
It's just, it's the soundtrack with how colorful everything is and bright everything is and all the cars you're getting. You know, you're basically in this loop of just exploring this open world and getting different challenges, unlocking new cars. Like, it's a near perfect game. Like,
That's awesome.
I really like that game. So I'm super excited to play that one. We'll talk next week about it when I played it a little bit. And
cool beans.
Yeah, with that, I think that's going to do it for us today, Dan.
All right. It was a pleasure. Thank you for
thank
watching
you,
us.
Thank you,
Shelby, of course.
We appreciate you. And, stay tuned. We're going to have some fun announcements coming up.
Oh, man.
So.
If you thought this was fun, wait till you see what happens.
What's up, guys? It's Dan from Circle Back. I'm just here to let you know you can find everything that we do at circlebackgaming.com. If you just want the podcast, we're on iTunes. If you just want the video, we're on YouTube. So catch us either place. Thanks.
Perfect.